We're going to start by addressing the fact that this drill is for footwork. And before we get going on any of the drills, I think that it's important that you recognize that you need to stretch, warm some things up, particularly if you're going to be doing your drills on a hard impact surface like I'm going to be doing. If you've got bad knees, bad ankles, you may want to do something similar to these out in the lawn on a nice, smooth, grassy surface. Make sure there's no lumps or anything you're going to roll your ankle on. I know I've done that a number of times. Make sure you're warming up first. So the way that I like to warm up is I'll just lay flat. I'll point my toes. I'm not resting them. I'm trying to push them forward. Hold that for about 15 to 30 seconds. You will probably start to feel a little bit of cramping in the arch of your feet if you're anything like me. And then you're going to pull them back. So you are actively trying to pull your feet up like this. And you'd repeat that a number of times. One of the other things I do, I put my hands underneath my legs so they're not resting flat, and I roll them. I roll them 15 times, something like that. Get all the clicks out. And when I wake up in the morning and I'm walking down the stairs, I hear the wood creaking, and there's a couple other things that are creaking that are not the wooden stairs. So rotate them the other way. Get them nice and warmed up. One of the other things that I like to do is I'll jump rope. Now I've got a nice jump rope. It's decent. It's got the bearings in it, as you can see, so it's got a nice rotation. I know it's really dirty, but it rotates pretty well. And the kind of jump roping that I do is like minimal jump roping, and by that I mean I'm not making these big jumps like this. You don't need to do that. It just needs to be around your wrist, rotating around the wrist, and just barely popping up. So about like this. I'll do 100 of these bad boys. Just to get warmed up. And if these footwork drills end up being super easy for you, then you can end up doing a set of 100 jumps or 25 double unders in between your sets as a way to keep the blood flowing. The tool that we're going to be utilizing today for this drill, for the most part, is going to be a ladder. I just made this from things I had at the house. I had some old paint stirrer sticks that I had left over from Home Depot, and I've got Gorilla Tape, but it can be any duct tape, really. So as you can see, I'll take you a little bit closer here. You can see that these are just the stirring sticks that I just put another thing of tape on. And this is just Gorilla Tape that is folded over on itself to kind of trap the stick in place. And these are approximately 18 inches wide, and I've made it so that the area that we're stepping in is about 12 inches deep. So you're not going to be moving particularly fast from point A to point B as far as going from one end of the ladder to the other, but that's not what these drills are about. They're not for that kind of speed. If you want that kind of speed, then I'm going to suggest you do like stair sprints and just wind sprints. This is going to be primarily for being able to shift your weight on your feet and set yourself up for better fighting stances and for better responses to the way that your opponent behaves. One of the simpler ones that we're going to be utilizing is just a lateral kind of movement. So you're going to want your feet apart. Doesn't matter which side of the ladder you start at. You can have your hands up in like a kind of like your fighter stance if you want to. If you just want them kind of up to kind of balance yourself, I wouldn't recommend just doing the Fred Flintstone thing. Just have them straight up. What you're going to end up doing is you're going to step in, and then out. And so what I mean by that is with my left leg, my inside leg, I'm going to be putting it into the box towards the outside edge, and then in with the other foot, and then back out and back out. So in, out. Now I just did that straight across. Now when I'm progressing up or down the ladder, now the next step is going to be in at an angle. So now I'm at like a 45, in, out, in, out. Now the reason why this is useful is because when we approach our opponents, we're going to do so at a 45-degree angle. Because you don't just want to walk right in, right? You want to present yourself in a way that makes them adjust their defenses so that you can see where their openings are, maybe create openings for yourself. So when we close, we're going to be closing at 45. And retreating at 45 so that they have to adjust on the fly. There is a right and a wrong way to do these drills. I'm going to go to the end and I'm going to show coming at you how I'm going to be doing it the incorrect way. You'll see that I'll start to do this like pendulum swing where my head stays over the ladder and my body moves outwards like a pendulum, and that's bad. That's bad footwork. If you end up getting your feet out from underneath you in the middle of a fight, you're kind of essentially planting yourself, and the opponent will be able to take advantage of you. You won't be able to move effectively to get away or to counter anything, so that's bad juju. So let me show you what that looks like. So again, I'm starting on the outside. So that's not how you want to do it. You want to stay over your hips. It's not as fast at first. So keep your weight over your hips. So we talked a little bit about closing with the opponent and moving away from the opponent at 45s. Now some of the other things that we use our footwork for is selling feints. So you're in real close to somebody and their defense is really good, they're solid. You need to get them to bite on something to get them to move so you can see how they behave, so you can hopefully take advantage of it. So you want to give them a little something, and so you can do that with your footwork too. Now what we're going to do is just a little bit of a kind of in and out of the box, back and forth. It's very similar to the one that we just did, but whereas the other exercise used both sides of the ladder, so it's a pretty symmetrical exercise. This one is asymmetrical because it is sided. I'll show you what I mean. We have to go down one side and then come back the same side. So I'm on the side, and I'm going to lead with the foot in the direction that I'm traveling. So because I'm going left, I'm going to lead with my left foot. So in, out, out. Same deal. Okay. I'm up on the balls of my feet, kind of sitting my backside down so I can retreat out of the box. And so I'm not leaning super hard, at least I hope I'm not. And then you can speed it up. And now a lot of people want to go back to this side on the way back down. But then that would be doing the exact same exercise you just did. And so you're not going to be exercising the right hand side properly. So we're going to come down on the same side, coming back. So now I'm leading with my right. Feel free to do an arm swing in there if you want to. So that drill helps with some of the like pump fakes, and they're getting them to jump. So I'm going against Mr. Pell here. His defenses are really, really good, and I want to get him to move or tense up or freeze. But you've got to practice that foot speed to really sell that. One of the other things that we generate from the ground up that we tend to not think about is the power in those shots. If I'm throwing all arm and shoulder and chest, I can generate a decent amount of force, but if I start throwing my hip into it, there's a lot more force that's generated. I don't have to work as hard up top, and I won't get as tired. So you really got to get that hip twist into those shots, pushing from the ground up to your arm and out at your opponent. One of the drills that works on that is this kind of hip twist moving down the line. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to start on the right hand side of the ladder, and I'm going to be in the ladder. Now what's going to happen is my left foot is going to rotate forward as I kind of jump, and it's going to rotate up to where my right foot is. So I'm going to do this. Okay? Now, you can either do it facing the ladder, you can do it facing the direction that you're traveling. Do what you're comfortable with. Try it while you're just kind of bouncing back and forth. You're going to get a little bit dizzy. You'll feel that once you get more confident with this, instead of, looking like this, you're going to be able to face one direction and just kind of swing your legs like they're like a separate platform. I recommend facing this way first. So here we go. So your hands are up, Knees are bent. Now again, this is an asymmetrical workout. You got to go back this way. So now my right foot is going to come up, my left leg is going to come out. And so the reason why we want this push from the hip. Another one that I think that we could talk about is when you've got an opponent, I can't talk, an opponent that is bigger than you, and they're coming at you. So let's say you're on a shield wall and they're coming at you, but your command has told you, like, if a guy is ready to bowl you over, you can allow them to fall through so the second rank can eat them up. This is a great drill for this. So if Mr. Bell is a lot bigger than me, and there's no way I'm going to be able to go toe to toe with this guy, if he's going to come flying through, then it serves me well to be able to slide out of the way in either direction, right? So you got to be able to slide out of the way and give him a nice little ass wrap on the way by. So some footwork that helps with that, so we get kind of used to that kind of swing motion, is this one right here. So let's start from here. So we start on the outside again, and instead of stepping in with our lead foot, we're going to swing the outside leg behind. So in this one, I'm going to step behind into the box. My other leg is going to step kind of forward, right? And then I'm out. So behind, out. And so this is the turn, right? Somebody's coming to get me, they're going to blast right through me. Or in the other direction, let them go through, give them a spank on the way by.